All right, we are just several days away from the dead period ending on the recruiting trail, meaning this is the final weekend for Kirby Smart and his staff to get some of their top targets back on campus. Of course, the entire month of January, the staff was on the road, right, in the Kirby copter, all over the state of Georgia, all over the South, across the country, trying to find new top targets, not only in the 25 class, but in the 26 class and beyond. So lots of offers went out through the month of January, and this is the last time the staff can get some top targets on campus. Should be another big recruiting weekend in Athens. A lot of big-time targets going to be in town. That's what I'm going to talk about in today's video. But first, I want to start off with the guy who's one of the top 2026 prospects in the country. He was in Athens on Wednesday night, sitting with Kirby Smart, Glenn Schumann during Georgia's basketball game. They lost to Alabama, but this is a legit elite five-star outside linebacker type out of Grayson. His name is Tyler Atkinson. I'm telling you right now, if you do not know Tyler Atkinson, you better learn his name today. I heard about this kid all throughout middle school. Kid was just crushing guys, 7th grade, 8th grade, ton of hype around him at Grayson. Last year as a freshman, more than lived up to the hype. He's got all the offers. Last year as a sophomore, had 197 tackles, according to Max Preps. 197 tackles as a sophomore, 25 tackles for a loss, 10.5 sacks. I think 4 of them came at least against Buford. They ate up Dylan Raiola and the Buford Wolves in the playoffs last year. Tyler Atkinson was all over the place, just absolutely looks the part. So he was in Athens on Wednesday night. Big deal. One of the top players in the country, really, in my opinion, even though he's in the 26 class. That's a Nolan Smith type of guy. 6'2", 220 right now. He's a little longer, a little leaner than Nolan was, but he still has a couple years to fill out more and more. But works with Marcus Howard, who played with Georgia in the mid to late 2000s. Number 38, a big-time pass rusher back then for the Dogs. He now trains a lot of these kids in the metro Atlanta area. Tyler Atkinson is one of them, and he's been telling me about this kid for a long time. So definitely a 5-star to know, who was in Athens earlier this week. Now, this weekend, you got Julian Lewis in town, the 5-star quarterback who reclassified from 2026 to 2025 out of Carrollton. Just dominated as a freshman, leading the Trojans to the 7A state championship. He's committed to Southern Cal. I know a lot of you Georgia fans are focused on his recruitment. I get that. But he's a tremendous, incredibly productive quarterback who was the number 1 player in the country in 26. Now he's in 25. He's the number 9 overall prospect in the country. And this will be his final year. Again, committed to Southern Cal right now. But if he opens things up, I like Georgia's chances. They're going to have to present a really nice NIL offer, as they should. This kid is going to get a lot of opportunities thrown his way. He is that good. He's that good. Would be a big deal for Georgia to flip him from Southern Cal, because he could be the next great college football quarterback, not only at Georgia, but across the country. Big time visit lined up to Athens for him this weekend. Zion Grady, one of the best pass rushers in the country. I've written about this kid on Dawg Post several times. Long, athletic. He's from the Mobile area. Last year, he had 108 tackles, 37 tackles for a loss. Just lived in the backfield. 22 sacks, 27 quarterback hurries, 3 forced fumbles, 2 fumble recoveries, 3 block kicks. Did it as a sophomore. Top 40, top 30 prospect in the country, I think, in the 25 class. Was an Alabama commit. He's going to be in town in Athens this weekend. Georgia had basically the whole staff there to see him last week. Last week, not last year, last week. Kirby, Glenn Schumann, Travaris Robinson, Coach Drebe, the outside linebackers coach. This is a long, athletic, young Leonard Floyd looking type of kid. He's got a long frame with the potential to add more mass, more muscle over time, which is going to help him out. But he can get to the quarterback in a lot of different ways. They're going to still have to fight off Auburn and Alabama, but right now they're in a really good position to do that. And I think Georgia's might be the team that's continuing to push and maybe lead in his recruitment heading into the summer with a big visit this weekend. So definitely got to keep an eye on his teammate, Eric Winters, yes, I think I wrote that correctly. I don't know if George has offered him just yet, but Glenn Schumann went to watch him play basketball last week. He's a teammate of Zion Grady down Enterprise High School, close to Dothan. So George is very much interested in him. He's a do-it-all athlete. He plays a little quarterback, little receiver, little running back, little safety, return man. This guy did it all for him last year. Threw for over 400 yards, But he was best with the ball in his hands, rushing for just under 700 yards, 11 touchdowns, made a lot of plays defensively. So he's a really good athlete that I think Georgia has a close eye on. He's going to be in town this weekend. And I'm reading this from the story that's already over on Dawg Post, by the way. So I'm not going to go over every single prospect, every single target that's going to be in Athens this weekend. But there is a bigger list, right? These are just some big names I started with, but there are more of these players with a little background, right? A little information on them. Over on Dawg Post, you can sign up by clicking on that link down below in the description to sign up to our free newsletter. It's free to sign up. A lot of our stories are free. This one might be free. I got to check. I don't know. But it could be free. So make sure you head over to Dawg Post to read everything we've got. It's recruiting season. Buckle up. Buckle up. Tay Harris is going to be in town. He is a former 4-star defensive back commitment at Cedartown High School, a kid that got on the commitment list early, can hit, can run, good athlete. He's picked up a lot of offers. I think Clemson offered him recently, Oklahoma, several other big schools. Took a lot of visits in January and said, you know what? He actually even told me in January that, hey, I'm not hearing as much from the Georgia staff as I used to. I'm taking all these visits, and kind of hinted that he was going to be opening up his recruitment. And he did. Kirby went to go see him the next day with the Kirby copter. One day, I think he decommitted on Sunday. Kirby was at his school Monday morning. So getting him back on campus now. I believe he told me this a couple weeks ago. I still need to kind of confirm this because a lot of changes at the last minute. Kids say they're going to go one place, doesn't work out, last minute they go somewhere else. But he told me that this was a weekend he was going to plan to be there. But they've pumped some kids out at Cedartown. Obviously, Nick Chubb there too, a big Bulldog presence. So if Georgia continues to push for him, have to like their chances a little bit. But he's a good prospect who's earning more and more offers. So he's definitely a guy to keep an eye on. Dorian Barney, as I had my coffee earlier, starting to get the hick of my mums. Dorian Barney is a defensive back out of Peachtree Ridge High School, 2026. Really good athlete, one of the top young up-and-coming prospects in the state. Really talented. He's picked up offers from Florida, Colorado, Texas A&M, Auburn, Ohio State, Southern Cal. So he's getting the big ones. They're coming in. I spoke with his head coach about 3 weeks ago at a Born to Compete All-Star game. And he said the kid's a real deal. Just really fluid, good footwork, receiver-like hands. He's got some length and he can run. So how you try to draw up an impactful cornerback, promising, defensive back, this kid kind of does it, and he gets it. He knows how good he can be, and he's a kid who's, again, picking almost another offer a day, big one too. So he's going to be in Athens this weekend. Wouldn't surprise me if he started to climb Georgia's board in the secondary in that 2026 class. But if you're in the Suwannee, Peachtree Ridge, kind of Gwinnett area, he's a guy that you might want to check out this fall because I think he's bound for a monster junior season. Jamari Bryce is a wide receiver out of Cartersville who earned an offer, I think, January 22nd. Now he's coming back to Athens. First visit to Athens, really, as a guy who's been offered. Really good ball skills, really good hands. He goes up and he's got a couple highlight reel catches on his junior film from last year. The numbers aren't super impressive. He caught 34 passes, 530 yards, and 5 touchdowns. But he's a jump ball guy who can go up and win. Really good athlete who continues to, develop his craft at wide receiver. I think his best football is only ahead of him. We'll see if he starts to climb Brian McClendon's board in that class. The state in general is very, very deep and talented at wide receiver. Offensive line and wide receiver, for sure, on the offensive side of the ball, is very deep in Georgia in that 25 class. And he's another up-and-coming receiver that has had a nice few weeks in the recruiting trail, so he's a guy to know. And then Kennesaw Mountain wide receiver Nayland Scott, who I think is coming off a really nice performance on 7-on-7 the last several weeks. Kennesaw Mountain was not very good last year. I think they may have won like 1, 2, maybe 3 games. But this is an explosive receiver at 6'3", 200. So he's a bigger receiver who's a vertical weapon down the field if used properly. I think he could be a really nice weapon at the next level. Georgia offered him as a freshman, saying, hey, we're going to offer you, we're going to keep an eye on you because you're young. We don't even have a real board for that yet. But they offered him a long time ago. we'll see if they continue to push for him. He's in the 26 class. He's a 26 kid, so he's just a sophomore. So definitely got to know. But we've got other names over on Dawg Post we want to check. We want you to check that out, see what we've got over there. And yeah, we'd really appreciate that. If you enjoy our videos, the stuff we have on the site is even better with even more detailed insider scoop for y'all. So make sure you check us out on the website. Hope you enjoyed this video, and hope you enjoy the next one. I'll see you over on the website.